What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a bunch of sealed and singles in Paldean Fates, and we're going to be talking about how this set is one of the best investments to consider adding to your portfolio, especially because early Scarlet and Violet is starting to go out of rotation, and with 151 now kind of stabilizing and sort of recorrecting to an extent, we're probably going to see another set in this pool of early Scarlet and Violet sets that are going out of rotation, going up in value, and I genuinely believe it's going to be Paldean Fates. And so let's take a look at this set and why I believe it is one of the best investments to pick up right now before the set explodes. I'm just going to pull up the top 3 cards. We're going to take a look at the general set in terms of its overall pulls and cards that it offers, and then we're going to be taking a look at the sealed and coming together with a single conclusion about the set and how to proceed with it. So as we can see here, we have the number 1 card from the set, and that is the Bubble Mew. There's no denying that this is the iconic card from this generation. I don't believe it's the Umbreon. I do think this is a very unique and iconic card that is unlike a card from a different generation, whereas the Umbreon really has a very similar feel to the Evolving Skies Umbreon, not because they look very similar, but because of how they were introduced and also how it just feels very similar in terms of the hype and everything that came with Evolving Skies, the set. Everyone loved the evolutions, and so it felt like Prismatic Evolutions was an answer to people wanting another Evolving Skies, and so that's what it was. But I feel like Evolving Skies was so much more unique. It had a lot more interesting artworks because we didn't have those abstract artworks. We had really those photorealistic environments the Pokemon were placed in, the VMAX versus the regular versions, whereas Prismatic had the stellar function and that alone, which is very off-putting to some people. And so all of that put aside, we can see that the Bubble Mew itself is just Mew. It's not anything, no crazy mechanics, nothing like that, right? We don't have Terrestrial, we don't have Gigantamax, we don't have tag teams or anything like that. It's just Mew, and that to a shiny Mew, which is probably one of the best shinies out there. I do think that blue shinies tend to do really well, are some of the best looking shinies out there. And then we have a really fun chibi artwork aesthetic, which is different from a lot of other cards that we've seen. And if we take a look specifically at this card's price valuation, it's gone up 34% already. It is one of those cards that I mentioned in a recent video where I was talking about special illustration works that were blowing up in value. It was one of the cards that I mentioned, and so as we can see here, the card is still going up. It is kind of flattening out and stabilizing to an extent, but if we see over the past 6 months, it's sort of coming back to that previous high when it kind of dipped down. So overall, yes, this card is going up in value, up 46% in the past month, and this is always a defining point for a set. Whenever the chase card is getting more expensive, the set tends to move to an extent with it. Next up, we have the Paldean Fates Charizard. The shiny Charizard is, of course, black, and we do have the Terrestrial mechanic here, but I don't think it's as distracting. The crown isn't as abundantly clear in this. It's more so just the crystallized vibe of the card that kind of catches your attention, and you can see the sort of fire. It really like reflects around, and it looks really great. You can see it's gone up 16% over the past month, so it's going for $244 right now. And then the final SIR Pokemon from this set, that's the Gardevoir, shiny Gardevoir being blue instead of green. It's a really dope shiny again. This card isn't up too much, to be honest, but we can take a look at it over the past year, and we see it slowly trailing upward again. Might reach maybe the midway point of this previous high in the coming in this remaining month or so. But as we can see, the special quality to Paldean Fates is the fact that it has shiny Pokemon special illustration, or something we don't see in other sets. We have had shiny sets in the past, specifically Hidden Fates in Sun and Moon, and Shining Fates in Sword and Shield. But these sets featured VMAX shinies and full art shinies, not special illustrationers, despite there being sort of alt art like cards in those respective generations. We had tag teams in Sun and Moon, we had alternate arts in Sword and Shield. But we finally got, for the Scarlet and Violet era, special illustration or shinies, and I think that really helps the set stand out. And it's also 3 beloved Pokemon, so the 3 Pokemon that got SIRs were bangers. If we filter just for cards here, we can see specifically that the main 3 SIRs are really what push this set higher up in terms of set value. The other cards are still reasonably priced. We do have a $50 card, a $30 cards here, But they are baby shinies and full arts, some of the more traditional cards that we'll see in the previous shiny sets. And we also have a few SIR trainers here. We have the Iono, we have the Penny with an Umbreon. I think this card is wildly undervalued, given the fact that there's an Umbreon and an Eevee backpack and all that. We have a couple other shinies and very unique gold cards that really aren't available in any other sets. This is a specific gold card to this set with this sort of teal and gold mixture. And then we also have a baby shiny Pikachu, which also adds to people's interest in the set, right? Okay, so now that we've taken a look at the cards, let's take a look at some of the sealed and how the sealed is moving. So as we can see, the top 3 cards really do move this set, and the number 1 card is really an era-defining. Generally what we can expect, I think, is that this set will perform really, really well, especially once it goes out of rotation and people start to find sealed much, much more difficult to open up, especially because sealed is getting more expensive and it's also getting harder to find. And I think the sealed being expensive is something that's a foregone conclusion, given the fact that it's already blasting up in value. We can see that the mini tin display is up 51% over the past 6 months. We can see that the regular ETB with the Mimikyu promo inside and a really solid artwork, I think, for the actual box itself, that product has gone up over the past 6 months, 16%, over the past 3 months, 36%. So we can see that some of the really big products in a special set are really blasting up in value. But we still haven't taken a look at the 2 number 1 products for Paldean Fates. And so my point here is we're seeing sealed get more and more expensive. It is, I think, bound to happen where the singles going up, the seal going up, it just starts to have the snowball effect, especially with special set hype and also the fact that this set is going out of rotation. So these sets are no longer going to be printed, and obviously that all comes together and accumulates to the point where the set just starts to go into a 151 mode and starts to blow up in value with a lot of cards, maybe even a Pikachu, baby shiny, and some of the other SIRs start to go even higher. We know that the upper limit for SIRs is far greater than $674, and I do think that this Mew and this Charizard are going to move up, and potentially this Gardevoir as well. Let's take a look now at the booster bundle. This is one of the top products you can purchase when it comes to special sets. They are very small, they don't have ancillary products, 6 packs in this little box, and we see it's gone up 48%, up to $132. I do think it's good to note the 151 booster bundle price currently is $180. It's up 86%, 89%. So I do think there is more room for the regular booster bundle from Paldean Fates to go up as well, and it does have some pretty solid Pokemon featured here with Cerulege, probably one of the best Pokemon from Gen 9, Shiny Pikachu as well, so really, really great Pokemon to be featured here. And as we can see, this one's up to $132. I do think there's more growth for this. I would expect to see this product go up at least to $150 in the near future. We could see it go higher if we see the snowball effect sort of come to a peak sooner rather than later. And the final product here is the Pokemon Center Paldean Fates ETB. Of course, I always say this, and I think it is something I really, really want to sort of get home in terms of this point. It's that Pokemon Center ETBs are some of the best products out there, especially for Scarlet and Violet and Mega Evolution. They are super exclusive. They have additional packs. They have exclusive promos. And when there is no booster box present for a set, specifically then, these products really, really shine. And as we can see, this product is only gone up 13% over the past 3 months, which is really low, considering the fact we're seeing other products like the Pokemon 151 ETB, Pokemon Center version is going for $1,300. I do think that this ETB is still greatly undervalued. So as we can see, overall this set has massive potential for growth. It's going out of rotation. People love shiny Pokemon, and especially given the fact that we have iconic Pokemon cards in this specific set, especially led by the Bubble Mew, there's still a lot of room for growth. But that will do for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below what specific card you have been investing in right now. It doesn't have to be Paldean Fates, just outside in Scarlet and Violet. With that, I'll catch you all in the next one.